Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Book Talks with Miss Bookie, the Young Adult Edition. Tonight I'm going to be sharing 5 books with you that I enjoyed reading, some of them when I was your age and some of them a little more recently, and hopefully you'll hear about something that interests you. When I was your guys' age, I had this dream to walk across the United States. I wanted to see new places, meet new people, and find out if the world was as scary of a place as my parents made it out to be. Then I read this book, Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer, and it completely gave me a reality check. The book follows a young college graduate named Chris McCandless as he gives away all the money in his savings account, abandons his car, and cuts off all communication with his family to embark on a 2-year journey, living off the land, taking odd jobs when he needs supplies, and gearing up for his ultimate quest to conquer the Alaskan wilderness. When he gets dropped off at the Stampede Trailhead near Fairbanks, Alaska, the kind man who drove him there warns him that he's missing key items for an extended stay in the wilderness. Namely, a large caliber rifle for hunting, a compass, and an axe. McCandless is unfazed and is counting on his luck to hold out for this one last trip. And it does, for 112 days. 6 weeks after his last journal entry, McCandless's body is found in an old bus that's used by hunters for shelter. Krakauer tries to piece together the last 2 years of McCandless's life and uses his journal entries to try to find out what went terribly wrong out there in the wilderness that caused his death. Read Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer to find out the true story about Chris McCandless. My next book is a biography, Catch a Fire, The Life of Bob Marley by Timothy White. Do you consider yourself a Bob Marley fan? I have read several of his biographies, and I like this one the best by far. It's rich with detail about Bob Marley's short but remarkable life. Robert Nesta Marley was born in 9 Mile, Jamaica, the son of a 60-year-old European Jamaican who's in the British Army and an 18-year-old country girl. When he was a child, Bob Marley was known for his fortune-telling abilities until he announced one day that he would no longer be doing that because he was now a singer. The book touches on several little-known details about Bob's life, namely his relationship with his wife/backup singer Rita Marley, the assassination attempt that was made on his life the night before he was scheduled to perform at a political rally in Jamaica. He was grazed by a bullet and his wife was actually shot in the head, and he still showed up the next night to perform, and I've seen that performance and it is powerful. The book also talks about the rise in popularity of reggae music and Bob Marley's battle with cancer from an infected toe wound that never healed properly, which ultimately led to his death. If you really want to understand the music of Bob Marley, this book tells the stories behind songs like Zimbabwe, War, and Ambush in the Night. It takes you through the rise of the Rastafari religion, the inception of reggae music, and the politics of Africa and Jamaica that shaped Bob Marley's music. He was instrumental in bringing these struggles to the international stage and promoted one love and unity as a way to battle the evils in the world. Read Catch a Fire, The Life of Bob Marley by Timothy White to learn the story of the man behind the legend. In the novel After Tupac and Dee Foster, Jacqueline Woodson In the novel After Tupac and Dee Foster, written by Jacqueline Woodson, the narrator and her best friend Nika have known each other their entire lives. When Dee Foster comes strolling down the block one day like she's grown, she explains to them that she's a foster kid. She's waiting for her mama to come back and get her. One of the things that bonds the girls is their love for the music of Tupac Shakur. Not only does he rap about real life, but it seems like he's invincible. Shortly after Dee strolls into their life, he's shot 5 times and lives. Although the narrator and Nika are fans of Tupac's music, Dee seems to understand it on a deeper level. She's seen things they haven't in their relatively safe Queens neighborhood. Dee knows all about loss, pain, and abandonment. And through her, the girls come to understand the music of Tupac better. The narrator also deals with her own issues of abandonment and wonders why her father's not around. Nika has a brother in jail and another brother who's determined that his basketball skills will be his ticket out of the neighborhood. When the girls are 13, Dee's mama does come back to get her, and she moves her too far away to see them anymore. Tupac is also gone after another shooting, this one fatal. The 2 girls miss him and their friend deeply. The narrator writes, "It was hard to read anything about Tupac dying and not think about Dee. Seems Dee was right. You listen to Tupac's songs and you know he's singing about people like Dee. About all the kids whose mamas went away, about all the injustice. Brenda throwing away her baby, hungry kids, the cops beating some brother down, sad kids, and kids who got big dreams nobody's listening to. Like over all that time and distance, he looked right across the bridge into Queens, New York, right into Dee's eyes. Strange how he saw her. He saw her. I don't know. Most days I'm still trying to figure it all out. I call Dee's number and the phone still rings and rings. I check the mailbox and there's never any letter from her. And a part of me gets real sad with the missing of her." Through the experience of losing Tupac and Dee Foster, the narrator comes to realize that even if someone is only in your life for a short while, they can make a lasting, lifelong impression. To follow the narrator on this journey of friendship and loss, read After Tupac and Dee Foster by Jacqueline Woodson. Go Ask Alice is the anonymous diary of a young teen who's struggling with drugs. I was a square, just like most of the kids I knew, the first time I tried LSD. I was playing a party game that I didn't even know existed, but I loved it. So much so that I changed my whole life to keep myself in supply. When it wasn't LSD, it was uppers. And when I needed to sleep, it was downers. Most kids my age will tell you it's easier to get drugs than alcohol. Parents watch their liquor like hawks and never think twice about their medicine cabinets. When it got so I had nothing in common with my old friends and my parents wouldn't get off my back, I ran away to San Francisco to make it on my own. I quickly learned that young girls are a target in the underground world of drugs and parties. My parents welcomed me home with open arms, but the square kids won't even talk to me anymore because word's gotten around that I'm easy and a druggie. And the old crowd who doesn't care about me at all doesn't really seem ready to let me go. They keep pressuring me to come back and hang out and party with them. I feel more hopeless and lonely than ever. This is my story, but it could be anyone's story. You might know someone like me or recognize a little bit of yourself. My ending isn't pretty, but if you read my diary, it might not be too late to make sure you have a better one. Let's Go Ask Alice by Anonymous. Before Twilight, before Vampire Diaries, before True Blood, there was Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. Lestat is a selfish, vengeful vampire who needs Louis so that he can afford to live the life of splendor he desires. Louis is a soft-hearted plantation owner who's distraught with guilt over his brother's death. Claudia is a young girl whom Lestat turns into a vampire in order to torture Louis. But what Lestat didn't plan for was the rage of a woman eternally trapped in a child's body. After decades of being treated like the child she resembles, Claudia plots her revenge, and Louis helps her. But vampires are hard to kill, and Lestat's thirst for revenge turns him into a monster. Will Louis and Claudia be able to escape Lestat's control? Will it cost them their immortal lives? Find out in the first novel of the original best-selling vampire series, Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. Thank you everyone for coming to Book Talks with Miss Bookie, Young Adult Edition. I'll be available after the presentation to answer any questions you might have, and hopefully you all heard about a book you might be interested in. Thank you.